watching NotesIn9.
Hello, and welcome to NotesIn9. I'm David Leedy. Episode 127, XPages, Parallel Processing, teaching XPages how to juggle. All right, I'm really excited to have my good friend Sidar Beyshamez back on the show. Sidar is an IBM champion out of Turkey, and he is a big friend of OpenNTF, and he's an all-around Java and XPages, very very high-end expert. And he's on Twitter, of course, and he's done writing for The View. He's a very popular speaker. And actually, this session, this demo he's about to do, was part of a session he did for Icon UK, formerly UK Lug, session he did with Frank Vanderlinden. Um, so I'm very excited to have this material on here. So what he's going to do today is he's going to kind of talk to us about doing spawning a new thread in XPages. I guess everything that we do in XPages today has a very controlled life cycle, and it is possible for you to get your own thread and have that do work outside of a life cycle, so it doesn't just automatically get destroyed right away. So this looks very interesting. So I hope you like it.
Hello, this is NotesIn9 session, and the title is It Takes Some Time. Do you want to wait? Or in a more geeky way, parallel threads for a non-blocking concurrent operation. I am Serdar Başemez. I am running my own company in Istanbul, Turkey, developing information systems. I am an IBM champion, and here are other social details, OpenNTF guy, XPages experts, etc. You can get in touch with me on Twitter, Skype, or through my blog. Let's quickly review the agenda. Before that, this is the partial version of for the session me and Frank gave during Icon UK 2013. I'm repeating this part, so if you missed Icon UK, it's good to reach to you via David Leedy. Thanks to him. And as an agenda, I can tell you we will explain the problem first, we will have some demo, and technical stuff will follow. So let's start with the demo and understand the problem better. I have a Notes database, and it holds my stats for my blog. It has 200,000 of records about all visits I had in last 2 or 3 years. I want to know how many people uses Chrome or Firefox or Internet Explorer of my visitors. So I created a little application to count it. It basically navigates a view and count user agents for me. It's a long task to do, so I will keep the dates window small at start. 1 month is will be enough, and run it. And we will wait here. As user, I have nothing to do but wait. Remember, this will probably goes to timeout normally, but I have changed the default timeout value from xsp.properties file in the project. It has completed in 18 seconds. I can see the result here. My visitors like Chrome, and this was the first part of the demo. So, what was the problem here? Problem was, first, XSP engine provides a single-threaded operation for all users. Okay, there are some implications like user has to wait for completion of long-running tasks like this, and worse, timeouts will cause more trouble like synchronization issues. Sometimes it's meaningless for user to wait. They will prefer throw the job into the basket and forget about it. Move on their life. And low performance because users waiting a long time at the browser side will tie up our valuable HTTP connections, which means more memory use, which means more CPU usage, and lack of threads, of course. Although it varies for different cases, multi-threading generally increases processing performance. And the solution? Launching a parallel thread for a non-blocking asynchronous task. Is that possible? It's not easy because it's something like dancing on a thin ice. Because running any Java code on a Domino-related platform requires a Notes session to access Domino classes and a Notes thread initialized by a Notes context. Normally, we have uh, all these in XPages, dots, or agents, but the problem is that they are all provided with a limitation because we are able to dance within a limited life cycle here. An example of the life cycle thing. For an XPages application, server waits for a request all the time. When it receives a request, it initializes a thread, a context, a session, and create other stuff like database, data sources, etc. It will then run the JSF cycle, run our code, deliver the response back to the user. The problem is that after response is done, it will destroy everything and it will wait for the next request. Therefore, we are able to dance in this limited time frame. And there is a synchronous blocking operation because suppose we have multiple tasks to be done here. They should be in a specific order, so each task will wait for the previous one to be completed. But IBM changed things in 853. They provided a mechanism for us to run a parallel thread by providing a couple of classes. One of them, the most important one, is session cloner, which clones the current session for later use. They also provide a thread session executor, which actually packs session cloner and an Eclipse job in a single class. But there is a slight problem here because it's not working on Domino 9. Luckily, we have a workaround here, and we will explain just after the demo. Let's see what happens if we launch the same task of counting user agents asynchronously. I will keep the date interval a little bit larger, like 3 months would be enough, I guess. Yeah. Let's start it, and it will start on the background, and automatic pulling is automatically enabled in my code, so it updates progress bar every couple of seconds, so we can see the progress here. Meanwhile, we can see it alive, and we can have some fun because we are not limited with the current scope. We can do whatever we want. Throw again. What's going on back? Yeah, we have one to go. Oops, I lost. Yeah. Yes, it's almost done. I have lots of Chrome visitors, by the way, and Internet Explorer. Okay, let's continue. The IBM way to do it is the thread session executor, but it fails, as I said before, in Domino 9. We are expecting a fix for Domino 9.01, but I won't go into details here. Normally with an Eclipse job, how to do it with a workaround. Eclipse job is designed to run threaded operations in an Eclipse platform. It's provided with a useful jobs API within Eclipse framework. When we extend the job class, it has a constructor to be defined and the run method. Run method generally runs the thread, and constructor is run when it's first created. By the way, these all things can be done by runnable interfaces as well. This jobs class is like a dots tasklet, because tasklets are coming from Eclipse jobs too. So we are modifying this a little bit. Session cloner and NSF component module. Module is going to be used for nodes context initialization, and we are saving these two variables for later use in the constructor. Okay. The run method is going to run when our thread is launched. So it has to initialize the node context with the module, initialize the thread, and clone our session. And since we have the session right now, this blue box represents where we are going to run our code. Whatever it takes, we need to terminate the thread and recycle the session cloner at last, at the end. Remember, you cannot run any code, even printing a stuff to the console, out of this blue box. This is very important, otherwise you will get a strange exception. This job can be started from any Java method, static or managed bean, anything. Here you can define a delay value in milliseconds, but I don't think it's a good idea. Schedule method is coming from job class, and it automatically creates the thread, and run the job for us. Creating your own job task might be difficult, but here is an easier approach. Stefan Wiesel created a set of classes for the same issue, addressing the same issue. There is a abstract class, there is a managed bean for background jobs. It's very simple to use. You don't need to design a separate job class for every different task, and you can easily embed this into your applications. The bean has single method submit service, and thanks to abstract notes background task class, we can use this notation, and we can put our task in this blue box, and we have the session coming from the argument, and we can easily launch a new task. So this asynchronous task thing, what are the possible use cases? Sometimes you have to call a web service or do a REST call to a far remote server, like looking for a tracking information on UPS servers. There will always be latency between your server and the remote one, and it will take a while. As you know, reporting tasks are headaches for us, especially if we have calculation, lots of rows, and conversion to PDF. There is a recent project on OpenNTF about big data. In that example, the XPages application does full text search on 20 or 25 databases at the same time with multi-threading. It's very useful for big data operation, because searching multiple databases is slow. Searching and discovery is another use case for this asynchronous thing. Other examples would be workflow applications, especially for routing operations, complicated operations involving relational database stuff, etc. And finally, if you have developed Java, enterprise Java, who doesn't want a message queue system for XPages? And some reminders here. Jobs and threads will run on behalf of the authenticated user, not for signer, not for server. Uh, Probably there is a hack to run them or get a session from session assigner or session assigner full admin access, etc. I don't know yet. I didn't find one. But OpenNTF Domino API providing some background task classes, and they provide different session objects with different users. You always, as always, use Java responsibly. Try catch is always your best friend. Recycle always, except the session, of course, and use logging. If something doesn't work right on the development environment, restart your HTTP task and clean your project. One more reminder is keep your threads and job objects clean. I mean, do the real stuff in your own classes, because we have seen that threads starting or running method might change from version to version. And always perform harsh tests before production. If you don't follow these rules, this will happen, because concurrency is a serious business. So thank you all for watching, and I would be very glad if you provide feedback about this pattern, because I'm planning to create a reusable project for OpenNTF, and what I will hear from you will be very, very useful for me. Okay, take care and thank you again.
And that's the demo. I really thank Sidar for coming on the show. If you have any questions on this, please don't ask me, because I'm still trying to digest all that stuff. But Sidar is available. And if you have any questions for me, here's my contact information, and I thank you for your time.